Hi friends, my name is Ranjan Subedi, your instructor for this course today. And for the last 10 years, I have been researching and writing blogs and articles on several accounting and finance related concepts. During this time, I found that most of the topics on the internet are covered either in an incomplete way or in a manner that cannot be understood by everyone easily. So after a long study, I decided to come out with a course that will cover concepts and topics surrounding IFRS, GAAP, inventories, and several other accounting and financial concepts that we will discuss just shortly after, which are not only useful in terms of today's rapidly developing scenario, but also where the special attention will be given to present every discussion in a detailed and in the easiest way that can be understood by anyone, even someone with the very basic knowledge. We have observed from feedback from several other courses that it is often hard to memorize and remember the concepts till the end, particularly when there are new terms and topics included in the course. So, to solve this problem, after the end of each chapter, we have included a resource file that you can download which contains overall revision of all the important theoretical concepts we discussed in that chapter, which are presented in order and in a very systematic way with an objective that you will be able to revise and grasp these concepts immediately in the first reading, which can help you solve and understand the journal entries and other numerical without any hassle. It is no secret that the world has transformed significantly over the last few decades, and now there are more industries, more opportunities, which naturally brings more chances for your career development. There is an old saying that with the right knowledge comes the right opportunities. So with this belief in mind, whether you are an accountant or an employee at any hierarchy, or you are a student pursuing exams today, such as CA, CPA, and ACCA, you will learn some of the much required accounting concepts that can really help you to excel in your career. All the concepts from basic to advanced will be explained through practical illustrations and real-life examples wherever required, so that with the completion of this course, you will have a complete working knowledge on several much useful and necessary accounting concepts that you can apply in your practical life, such as the topics that you are seeing on the screen right now. Let's do a brief overview of what we can expect to learn through this course. We will start our course by discussing the two important accounting standards on which basis the financial statements of any country in this world needs to be prepared. These standards are International Financial Reporting Standards, or IFRS, and Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, or GAAP. We have seen that while playing any kind of sport, there are certain rules that a player needs to always follow, failing which may result in himself getting penalized. Similar to this, there are rules on the basis of which financial statements need to be prepared, and these two standards specify those specific rules which are in many cases compulsory to be followed. So at least a basic knowledge of these two standards are actually a requirement today. Hence, in the first chapter, we will understand their concepts, requirements, and understand the critical difference between these two standards through practical examples. Inventories are one of the most vital assets of any company, whether they are big or small. So, it will be the next part of our discussion in this course. For many companies, inventories constitute a significant portion of the total current assets, usually at least 1/5 of these assets. So it is very important to understand the concepts of inventory, like what inventories actually are, different methods by which we can carry valuation under IFRS and GAAP, and how journal entries should be recorded correctly during all the stages from the time something is purchased to the time finished goods are manufactured out of them and sold. We will then understand the concepts of three important measures that we need to understand before we can proceed further into the course, which are cost, net realizable value or NRV, and market. Once we are conceptually clear about these concepts, we will learn about how inventories should be valued and what journal entries should be passed when an inventory's NRV drops below its book value, which is known as inventory write-down. For this, we will take reference of real-life example of Fire phone launched by Amazon when they had to announce one of the largest inventory write-downs in recent times of $170 million. After we come up to this point in our course, we will be able to ourselves assess the fundamental differences between IFRS and GAAP in respect of the same transaction. After that, we will learn what documents of title are, as they are important for understanding who and exactly when should the assets or inventories be recorded in their books of account. For this, we will discuss in detail about title deed, bill of lading, and warehouse receipt. Every concept will be taught in simple words with pictures, graphs, and tables whenever required, so you can visualize these concepts without much effort. As the world has become a very globalized place today, so we will move forward to a very important chapter in this course, which is goods in transit. We will make a discussion about certain specific rules known as Incoterms, which specify the responsibility between the buyer and the seller in relation to international trade. Here we will discuss in detail, along with calculations, four of the most widely used Incoterms when goods are transported through sea. The Incoterms that we will be discussing are free on board, free alongside ship, cost, insurance, and freight, and cost and freight. Even if we did not have any experience of recording accounting transactions of import and export of goods, once we complete this chapter, we will be able to record any kind of journal entries regarding such international sales and purchase very easily. We will be learning all of these concepts by creating a real-life practical scenario where we will be sellers exporting iPhone sets to Japan. This will also help us understand other various concepts like loading charges, insurance costs, and port of shipment and destination. Then we will move our focus on three detailed chapters, namely consignment arrangements, product financing arrangements, and sale with right of return, where we will learn what consignment, product financing, and sale with right of return are and how we should record transactions and present them in our balance sheet when we have to deal with any of these cases in real life. Cost is one of the most fundamental concepts when it comes to accounting, and hence we will discuss about costs by breaking them down into several components, that is, costs of purchase, costs of conversion, joint costs, costs of byproduct, normal costs, and abnormal costs. We will be solving several types of conceptual problems in relation to these concepts together. We may know that there are four different methods of valuation of inventories. The use of one method can lead to higher or lower profit compared to other methods in different situations. So, we will try to understand these four valuation methods with several practical examples. And at the end of this chapter, you will yourself be able to make use of any of these methods and critically evaluate which method will be most appropriate in a particular given situation. After this course, we can also be assured of having a good idea on several other concepts like financial instruments, biological assets, property, plant and equipment, periodic and perpetual method of valuation, and all of them shall be discussed with examples and illustrations wherever required. The course is divided into two parts, Part 1 and Part 2. The contents are prepared on a systematic basis so that we shall be moving forward gradually from the basic concepts to recording transactions to a little more complex areas, all of which will be explained in the most simple way so that you can grab all these concepts in the easiest way. With the completion of this course, you will see yourself having full confidence on several important topics that you will be able to utilize effectively whether in your job or for excelling your knowledge. To put everything in short, this course is designed in such a way that it covers the topics that are fundamental and very important to understand whether we are students or are pursuing jobs today. Now, before we begin the course, I want to give an important message that please don't forget to join our public group Solve Today on our Telegram channel t.me/solve today so that if you get any confusion or have any questions during the course, you can ask your questions here straight away and we will try our best to get back to you as fast as possible. Thank you.